What if 21 Pilots only had one record? What if they didn't have 7 albums and over 100 songs in their discography, and the only songs they had were from one album? I have a few rules here that I'm going by. There's only 19 songs on the album that I'm creating to make up for 14 tracks. That is the most common on most of their albums that they have, and as well as, some extra tracks for some singles and indecisiveness. I originally had 17, then I had 18, and now I have 19. So I think 19 is the sweet spot here. Plus, some albums have 19 songs, even if it's not a deluxe. Other rules: I need to have at least 2 tracks per publicly released album. Regional at best only gets 1. Screw you. I don't care. I will be somewhat biased, but I'm also going to go with album flow as well as popularity. I want to cover every major genre of 21 Pilots, rap, psychedelic, reggae, ukulele song, Jenna song. I want to have all those types of songs in there. And I want some lore songs as well as some personal songs. So without further ado, let's get into this. From track 1 to 19, this is What If 21 Pilots only had one record. I chose Jumpsuit for track 1. I think Jumpsuit holds a lot of introductory weight to it. I think it's the perfect way to start an album, but also to start a concert. While I might like Overcompensate more as a song, I think Jumpsuit is better to introduce you to the band if this was their only record. I think it has a lot of 21 Pilotisms, like the scream at the end and like the bridge with somewhat auto-tune, but it slows it down before it gets to that explosive ending. And I think that the low rumble at the beginning mixed with the bass just makes this a perfect opening track for an album. For track 2, I have Holding On To You. I think this is some of the most essential 21 Pilots you will get from the band. This is one of the songs that I show to people when they say they want to get into the band, or they've never heard of the band, or if I'm in the car with someone and they don't particularly like them, they usually like this song. So Holding On To You, it's just one of those tracks, and it's been played at all 8 of the 21 Pilots concerts I've been to. It was played at the halftime show for the NHL thing they did, and overall it just really screams 21 Pilots. It talks about the night cycle, it has introspective rapping about what's going on in Tyler's head, and it has, that infectious bridge, which is just one of the catchiest things they've ever done. So I think having it at track 2 is great. I don't think it could be lower. I think it has to be track 2 if they only had one album. For track 3, I have something sort of in the same vein, Stressed Out. It's their most popular song of all time. A lot of the time on albums, people will put their more popular songs on the bottom to, let the album go out with a bang. But Stressed Out being track 2 on Blurry Face makes a lot of sense in itself because he says, "My name's Blurry Face." So it's an introduction to that as track 3, as well as being an introduction to more of the psychedelic nature of 21 Pilots, mixed with more of Tyler's rapping. You get Blurry Face's voice in there as well and explaining it to you. It's also one of their most popular songs, so it just kind of has to be here. But I do like Stressed Out. I think I would put it here no matter what. Track number 4, Overcompensate. I know this is a weird placement considering Overcompensate is kind of an intro song, but I think after you introduce Trench, Vessel, Blurry Face, it's a good time to introduce Clancy and the production style of what it has to offer. There's a lot going on in this song. It's not overbearing. I think that it's good at this placement because you get introduced to the iconic 21 Pilots songs, an introduction 21 Pilots song, and then you get to this one. And overall, Overcompensate has to do with the lore, but even if it doesn't have to do with the lore and you have no idea who Clancy is, it still has a lot of lyrics that were kind of being shown in Stressed Out and Holding On To You and Jumpsuit. And it continues the same sort of theme. Again, has that, explosive nature to it. The drums go absolutely crazy. I felt like I didn't need to put Heavy Dirty Soul on here because Overcompensate is on here. Spoilers, Heavy Dirty Soul is not on the track list, but yeah, Overcompensate, it's a great song, great introduction to Clancy, great way to kind of continue the album after Stress Out. Track 5 is Fall Away. This is one of the most iconic songs from Self-Titled. I think it's the one that has aged the best. The singing is there, The lyrics are there. The rapping is there. It's good coming after Overcompensate because they are on complete opposite ends of their discography at the moment, but Fall Away has the same sort of rap cadence that Overcompensate does, and I feel like it's a good way to kind of get into those, not slower songs, but kind of older songs that aren't as bombastic and not as well produced. And I think Fall Away is a great gateway to open that up on the album. You couldn't have an essential 21 Pilots track list without Fall Away, and I feel like if they only had one album, Fall Away is pretty much guaranteed to be on that album. Track 6, I have Forest. Forest is the song from Regional at Best that pretty much everybody knows. It's like the only Regional at Best song that's really ever played at live shows. The chorus is infectious, even though he says chorus in the chorus. People know about the Forest fic too, but overall, this is one of those songs that has that old school 21 Pilots charm. Even me, someone who doesn't really like Regional at Best, can appreciate this song, and I do find myself wanting to listen to it sometimes. It has rap in there, it has great harmonies from Tyler, and overall, this is just an essential 21 Pilots track that you kind of need to have here, because when people think about 21 Pilots, one of the songs they first think about is Forest. For track 7, I have Mulberry Street, the first Scaled and Icy song on here. Mulberry Street is one of those songs that is just so happy and joyous and fun to listen to. It just has so much energy behind it and so much potential for greatness, and it just exceeds at that. And I feel like Tyler's saying that the two songs that they really kind of took away from the Scaled and Icy era that they didn't expect to like playing live so much, Being Shy Away and Mulberry Street, just kind of shows a lot about their discography, because you can have songs like Forest, like Overcompensate, like Jumpsuit, that sound nothing like Mulberry Street, but somehow Mulberry Street still fits in and kind of just complements their sound very well. Mulberry Street, for me, I think it needed to be sort of in the beginning of the album, but a little down lower, because it would be too soon to have it any higher to introduce this type of sound. But any later, it would feel like it was coming too late, and it was like, what the heck, this is kind of out of nowhere. So I think it's perfect here. I think it adds a lot to the album, and I think it's a very fun song, and it needs to get more love. For track 8, I have Tear My Heart. Tear My Heart is a Jenna song. It is also the 4th most streamed song of their entire discography. It comes from Blurry Face, which, you know, arguably their most iconic album just because of how popular it got, and it's like certified gold or diamond or something insane like that. Every song has over 200 million streams. Tear My Heart, though, it fits a lot of the criteria that we want in this. It also is popular, which is nice. It's not one of my favorites, but you know, you got the love song in there, you got the different sound going for it, and coming after Mulberry Street, I just feel like, you know, Mulberry Street is a fun, happy song, and Tear My Heart can be fun and fun to sing, and it just has a lot of that good nature 21 Pilots feel to it, where it feels essential to the band, and even me, someone who doesn't like it that much, knows that it is essential to this band and that they wouldn't be 21 Pilots without Tearing My Heart, so it has to be here. Number 9, Nico and the Niners. Yes, I put it at number 9 on purpose because Nico and the Niners, but also it's a lore song. It's probably the most lore-heavy song that I'm going to have on this track list, besides when we get lower, but it has a lot of lyrics that have to do with the lore. I mean, all of them do. It directly says the word Dima, which is a huge part of the band. It has very experimental production to it, and just a great part where, you know, the beat goes in reverse and then Tyler raps over it. Freaking crazy, man. And it again, it's like Mulberry Street, where if I put it too soon, it would have been a huge 180, but after songs like Mulberry Street and Tearing My Heart, it kind of feels like we need to switch up the vibe a little bit. So Nico and the Niners is a good way to kind of get that dark 21 Pilots vibe out there, while also that experimental 21 Pilots vibe is out there, and you can't have 21 Pilots without the lore, and this is one of the most lore-heavy songs, so there it is. At number 10, track 10, I have Message Man. This is going along with the darker tones of Nico and the Niners. It's another Blurry Face song, and we need another one on here because it is their most popular album. It also has a little bit of that reggae feel to it, which is a 21 Pilots staple on almost all of their albums. There has to be some sort of reggae vibe on at least one of the songs. And it also has a good message to it where he's saying, don't use my message for harm, use it for good. It's not supposed to make you want to do bad things. It's supposed to make you be able to deal with the bad things. I feel like that coming after all the songs prior to it works very well. It's one of the songs that you kind of need on here based on the messaging, and I just like it. It's my favorite Blurry Face song, so it's a little biased putting it on here, but I feel like it fits, and I couldn't find a way to fit any other reggae 21 Pilots songs on here. Number 11, track 11, coming after Message Man, Oldie Station. Oldie Station has another great message. This is a song that I didn't know if I wanted to put on this list because it made me have 4 Clancy songs on here, and I know that's a little bit of recency bias, but at the same time, Oldie Station is a song where Tyler is updating you on his life, and it needs to be here. He's talking about his kids, he's talking about his journey, he's talking about all this stuff. Josh shines here. The production is really good, and it just has an easy listening type of vibe while the lyrics hit really hard. I know this one's a contradiction because of how happy it sounds, but the lyrics are so down. No, but seriously, you cannot have a essential 21 Pilots only having one record type of video without putting Oldie Station on the track list. It would just feel wrong, and it felt wrong not including it, so I had to. Track 12, Addict with a Pen. This is probably the second most popular from Self-Titled. This has been played a lot at the live shows as well, and it is one of those songs that really describes Self-Titled very well. It's talking about God. It's a piano ballad. Tyler's singing his heart out. The lyrics are very, very deep and introspective, and this just feels like another 21 Pilots songs that just, it screams 21 Pilots. Going along with the same emotional vibe, Redecorate is my track 13. I think that Redecorate has to be on here. It's basically a Clancy letter written out there. It's talking about 3 different people that all come together for the chorus. It's also my favorite 21 Pilots song, so it's a little bit biased there. But I feel like this is one of the most emotionally resonant songs of their entire discography. Don't know if there's any other song about debating to clean your room or not before you kill yourself, because you don't want to put that on your family to decide what to do with your stuff. And overall, this just hits very hard. I feel like this is a nice almost pre-closer for the album where, you know, we had those emotional songs with Oldie Station, Addict with a Pen, now Redecorate, and after that we'll go into more of the upper beat songs until we get to the end. I just think it fits really well, and I think that having it right after Addict with a Pen is perfect. Track 14, Next Semester. Like I said, after Redecorate, you kind of have to pick things back up, make it a little more fun. Obviously, this is a song about Tyler's suicide attempts, so it works with Redecorate back to back, but it's also like start fresh next semester. After everything you've done in the song Redecorate, let's start over, and it's got that pop punk vibe, which no other 21 Pilots song has, so you kind of have to put it in there just for that as well. But it's another one of those personal 21 Pilots songs, and that's why I was debating whether I should put Oldie Station or Next Semester, because they're both very personal to Tyler. But I felt like they both needed to be here, and Next Semester really is a hard-hitting song. I especially love how at the last minute it changes into a ballad, which is perfect. I think that more 21 Pilots songs should do that. They do that a lot at live shows as well. But here, it's just, again, essential 21 Pilots listening. And I've noticed that a lot of track 2s are really like hard hitters for this band. Number 15, Heathens. simple enough. This is one of their most popular songs. It is just iconic for the band. No really other reason to have it here. I think it works later as a sort of closer for the album. Obviously, it's like the fifth to last song, but I think that rounding out the album now, Heathens kind of needs to be here because not only is it one of their most popular, but it also just has that 21 Pilots flair to it. I think that it also being a song for the clique and for the fans is very nice, and I don't really know if I have any other songs. I do, but this is like the first one that's talking directly to the clique in its lyrics. So having it here also makes a lot of sense for that rather than just its popularity. But at track 16, I have Guns for Hands, which is also a song to the clique. I think that this is also a good way to kind of start rounding out the album. But this is an essential Vessel track. It is one of the most popular. I'm saying the word essential a lot, but it's just one of the most popular. Like I said, at live shows, they sing this one really loud. The crowd kind of all joins in. It's known very well, and it has those introspective lyrics. Once again, it's just iconic for the band. Track 17, Chlorine. This is their fifth most popular song. This also has that psychedelic feel to it. It's 5 minutes. I think it's the longest one that I put on here. Well, sort of. And the changes, switch ups, lyrics, introduction of Ned, drumming, all of it feels like it needs to be in 21 Pilots' one and only record. And for that, it's here. 18, track 18, Paladin Straight. This one's the longest. I said Chlorine was, but this one's the longest. This has to do with the lore, straight up. It just does. It's also a transition song between Clancy and whatever comes after Clancy. It talks about stuff indirectly, obviously, like it says the Paladin Straight in it, which is a location in Trench, but it talks about the lore kind of directly and indirectly, which is nice because having more lore songs on here was the intention, but at the same time, if there's only one record, they can't really expand on the lore. So having lyrics that are sort of, ambiguous are nice. It also has a nice upbeat ukulele vibe to it until the end, which gets slow again. And that fits really well for the album. I think that if they were to have one album, this would be the second to last song for the closers. And I think you guys all know what track 19 is. It's Trees. I don't have to explain this. They end every show with this. It's an iconic, essential 21 Pilots song. And ending on that hello and just fade out would be perfect for their one and only album. So I know I've been doing a lot of ranting and yapping, and I've been saying the word essential so much, but 19 songs didn't feel like enough. I felt like 5 more songs need to be put on here for the quote-unquote deluxe edition, and songs I thought could fit after Trees and kind of further expand the band's brand. Popular, what fits the album, and some lore and some personal stuff mixed in here. At number 20, I would put Trapdoor. I think that Trapdoor would fit really well coming after Trees because it's kind of like, you're falling into the trapdoor after you thought that the album was over. It also has more of that self-titled flair to it. Well, it's not just a piano ballad, it has some more interesting production, which would fit on the only record they would have. Track 21, I have The Line. This is probably their fastest growing song of all time. It already has 122 million streams, and it hasn't even been out in November, December, January, February, March, April. It hasn't even been out 6 months, which is crazy. Then you go from The Line to track 22, Morph. Morph, again, one of those songs that has insane production. It also mentions Nico with Nicholas Bourbaki, and Nico and the Niners is higher up on the track list, and Morph is lower, so it's kind of a callback to that in that sense, rather than, like on Trench, Nico being a callback to Morph. So I think that fits really well. I think at 23, I would have Shy Away, just because Shy Away is one of the most popular, or the most popular song from Scaled and Icy. Well, it's not one of my favorites, and it doesn't have a lot of sonic cohesion with the rest of the songs here. I think that it would just fit sort of as this penultimate track to the deluxe version. And I think that the last song here needs to be Kitchen Sink. Kitchen Sink is what the logo represents. Kitchen Sink is one of the most iconic songs that isn't released. I don't like it, but it has Tyler, it has nostalgia feel, it has his singing, it has the best production on Regional at Best, and overall, it's just one of those songs that when you're a 21 Pilots fan and you think about this band, Kitchen Sink is one of those songs that you really think about. So, yeah, that's my list of what I would make the one and only 21 Pilots record if we only had 19 to 24 songs to do. Let me know what you would do. Let me know if some of my takes are bad. Let me know if this video is a mess. I feel like it's a mess. I'm rambling a lot, but hey, that's what YouTube's all about, expressing yourself. So thank you for being here. I love you guys. And always remember, I got nothing.
Temperatures dropping. Temperatures dropping. I'm not sure if I can see the sun stopping. Shaking hands with the dark parts of my thoughts. No, you are all that I've got. No, don't forget about me. Don't forget about me. Even when I doubt you, I'm no good without you. No, no.